Okay, I think we're recording.
All right. What's up, y'all? It's Dr. Nash and Dr. Gates, Connection, Intention, Purpose coming at you. We're in different cities. I'm from Grand Rapids, in Grand Rapids. Nash, where you at, buddy?
Coming live from Ames, Iowa.
That's what's
Heartland.
up.
Yes, sir.
Not too far from the Fountainhead there. I'm
Always
sure
like
it's nice
to keep
to be
the
close.
roots nice and close, bro.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Your roots quite literally are close because nice.
It's a little dark.
I didn't even see you were wearing that. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, you see him.
Where'd you pick that up?
When they had one of the, when they're redoing the CHC, the old CHC?
Yeah. Dang.
They were giving those out.
Why didn't you tell me, man?
Yo, I got literally the last large, and the other ones were like extra small. So
maybe that's why I didn't get one.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I got that, when I picked up my spine there.
Oh,
remember when they were doing that with the old student union? Yeah.
Yeah. And now the new student union looks sick. So all you new Kyers out there, I'm pretty jealous.
Yeah, for real.
I'm pretty jealous. Dude, by the way, I was at the Meyer over here by our house, and they had monster cookies, and I meant to text you and Lane and be like, yo, the monster cookies, we gotta go to get them some Palmer.
Dude.
Free ones.
Crushed many a cookie on, was that Wednesdays?
Oh, Wednesday, yes. Many a cookie. At least, how many weeks are in a year? 52?
52.
At least 50 per year.
First 3 tries, don't know if I could have made it through a Wednesday without a monster cookie.
Oh, heck no, especially when you're going through spinal and everything.
Yeah.
After we found out we passed spinal, I'm pretty sure I had a monster cookie.
Yeah, it was like my prescription was monster cookie. Once weekly monster cookie.
That's what got you through.
Pfizer, I think, was like the cooking up the monster
sponsor
cookie.
of the monster cookie. That's the only prescriptions given out at Palmer.
Heck yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, this is our podcast, man. We're starting it.
The Good Fighters.
Ain't that nuts? Good fighters, y'all. Good fighters. Now, what does that mean? Well, listen up. We got the bio. It's coming at you. We're going to put it in the show notes. But I want to get to know you guys to know who we are. Nash, we obviously we both went to school together. Palmer was a wonderful time. It's a time when both of us, honestly, you probably agree with this, revolutionized ourselves, new evolution, new people coming out than we did going in. But I wanted to touch on too, especially when we get into this podcast, guys, just the difference of connection, intention, and purpose and what we learned through school. The reason we picked those is very intentional, obviously. But Nash, why don't you, tell them a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, who you are, just to start us off,
Yeah, for sure. So I really liked how you kind of introed a little bit about the transformation that happens when you go through school, which Cindy Cairo is going through the school right now. I'm sure you're already kind of feeling it. And even some the subtleties of it, like you don't even really realize what's going on until either you're sitting on the outside looking in, or like it's like, holy shit, pardon my French, but like you're looking at it like first year flew by, and I feel like that like very first like couple tries, like at least for me, I didn't really know who I was. I didn't really I didn't come from a chiropractic family, but I also have my roots, and I'll get into that later. But you just go through a huge transformation if you really allow yourself to. And for me, it was, I don't know, it was amazing. I mean, probably one of the more powerful things I've ever experienced. So, a little bit about my background. So I'm from Iowa, like Gates touched on, probably about 45 minutes from the Fountainhead, Davenport, which, not to get too metaphysical right away, but I mean, I just always kind of felt like there was something different about where I came from, and just I had this like instinctual desire to be healthy growing up. So
you guys aren't into metaphysical, you might as well leave now because we're
right. we're gonna be dropping some red pills, pilling out here.
Red pills.
But even in my childhood, like one of my best friends used to go over to his place all the time, and whenever his mom would be like, "Hey, do you guys want any sodas, or do you guys want anything to drink?" She always called me the water kid because like I never liked soda, and like I just always wanted.
You were the OG water boy.
Seriously, yeah, Bobby Boucher. That's what I should have called myself.
I guess he was the OG. It would have been beforehand, but
true. So yeah, even just like instinctually, I always kind of gravitated more towards health. And maybe that's because my mom, aunt, grandma, sister, they're all nurses now, or my sister's a nurse now, but aunt, grandma, and my mom are all nurses. So I always kind of had this ingrained philosophy of helping people and connecting with people, because one of the biggest strengths of a nurse is literally to go in and connect with somebody who's ever on that bed in that room.
Yeah.
For a short amount of time or long amount of time that they might be there, and really trying to make
props to all you nurses out there, for real.
Yeah,
though.
Seriously.
My sister too, yeah, Taryn.
And yeah, I just think a lot of that rubbed off on me, and being super close to Davenport really helped me throughout school, having that connection to home really kind of kept me focused on my why. And I always had people close by that I knew that genuinely loved and cared about me. So for me, that was a huge strength. I wouldn't be where I am or who I am without that. So a little bit more into my education, went to play football in undergrad. And then from there, I knew I wanted to go to grad school. Oh, sweet.
Dennis.
I'm going to knock him
out. Nash's dog. He's up.
Big
old wolf dog.
Yep. Chiropractic connoisseur.
Yes, sir.
So
do you adjust Dennis?
I don't. We actually have a doc that's super close by that checks him out, and she's great. Dr. Molly Hamilton. She's awesome.
That's what's up.
Yeah, she's super cool. And that reminds me, later I have to talk to you because there's a documentary movie on Amazon. It's about one of the original animal chiropractors, and I think it's called Life Adjusted or something like that. It's super cool.
On Amazon?
Amazon Prime, I swear.
That's sick. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. That's really cool.
I think his name is Jay. I'm gonna butcher the last name, so I don't remember what the last name was, but he was one of the OG, and he was part of MLS staff for a while. I know he worked with Arnaud Bernier for a while. Wow. And he was a part of the master camp trainings that Arnaud used to do.
Yeah.
And he worked with Lou Corletto and a few other people. And
there's some big names there then.
Yeah, he's literally one of the pioneers of animal adjusting, and more specifically really being able to connect with a horse in equine.
Wow.
So give it a watch. I know it's supposed to be pretty good. I haven't got to watch it myself, but I know I've heard some good stuff.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Talking about going into football.
History, yeah, football. So always knew I was interested in kinesiology, the physiology of the human body. Got involved with the pre-chiropractic club at University of Northern Iowa, which, for me, I was just really just trying to figure out more about it. I didn't really have a whole lot of experience with chiropractic. And
had you been to a chiropractor at that point?
I had once or a couple times growing up. So in high school, I hurt my back pretty bad playing basketball. And for any of my friends or anybody that knew me back then, that when I did it, it was no joke. Very long recovery process. I went to a chiropractor probably once or twice. And not any knock on him. I just didn't really understand at the time. Maybe I just wasn't. I wasn't a great listener.
How old were you?
I was 17. So.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Was this the upper cervical one?
No. So this was a different one. I think he was more of a Logan / activator doc.
Got you.
And I got a little bit of relief, but I didn't really understand the philosophy or how it pertained to my back injury or why I should keep coming. So a lot of people, I went and I didn't have immediate relief, so I just didn't really continue. And I had a super long recovery process, and I developed all these patterns to where I was training for football, track, basketball, whatever, that I was essentially trying to protect my back.
Yeah.
Making compensations, my training methods, and ended up having further injuries near the end of my undergrad career. Joined the pre-chiropractic club, and the president of the club at the time was hey, I was just trying to hey, who's some good chiropractors in town that I can go check out, because I don't know much about it. And he was he was the president, so he knew more than I did, and he was thankfully for me really principled. So he ended up referring me to an upper cervical doc in town, who after going there, I was really able to connect with him, and he really shared with me the power of the message of chiropractic, and really, essentially opened up my eyes to the beauty of it, and the love and the connection that you can have with people every day, and really walking with them on their path back to health. So I shadowed and worked in his office as a internship for like a year. And I
remember you had a pretty sweet gig with that internship, right? You got to kind of dive in.
Yeah, he let me actually. So I say he let me, but at the time he had like a garage full of like old patient records. And part of his process, I mean, like a lot of really successful docs, they have objective measures to like gauge or their progress with care. Right. So what I did was I essentially logged probably thousands of patients' progress exam results, neck disability index results, so many different things that like were showing me the power of upper cervical care with anything but neck pain. Like that was like my foundation right from the start. So
that's pretty sick.
For me, that was like such a valuable lesson that I learned early on that really just let me like have in my mind the potential and the power of the human body. So Dr. Kyle Troyer's upper cervical health centers of Cedar Falls, phenomenal. He practices Kale technique. I don't know if many people know what that is. It's a more rare knee chest, upper cervical knee chest, and he got certified down in Sherman College, which is where between Palmer College, Davenport, and Sherman College in Spartanburg, that's where he referred me to. And, one thing I always try to do is operate intuitively. So my intuition told me Palmer it is.
There you go.
Yeah. And then I get into my Palmer career, which is probably like, that's like 100-page story, what I just did right there. That Palmer
we can
like
save some of that.
So, I'll save that for a little bit later, man. So that's a little bit about me. How about yourself?
Cool. One thing real quick I think is really cool that neither of us came into chiropractic school being from a chiropractic family, and it wasn't until, and I'll touch on my story, but it wasn't until we were teenagers till we experienced it. And yet seeing that perspective from going through school and the impact that school has to now where we're, I guess you could say head over heels for the profession, and the evolution that comes from school and what you learn from chiropractic. Like, yeah, you had your foundation, but then school is where you really, that catalyst, I guess you could say. But I never put that together. It was really cool. But kind of similar as to you, I wasn't necessarily the water kid. I was like water during the weekdays, and then when I spend the night at my friends, it was definitely soda. So a little bit here and there. But I think for me, very similar in terms of naturally inclined to my body's natural ability. And for me, it was more physical activity. Like I just remember, so I'm an Eagle Scout, Boy Scout. So for me, don't smile, man. He's smiling already.
100 different knots. 100 different knots, bro. I wish I could tie 100 knots.
Well, I wasn't the very good knot tire, but you know what I could do is I earned my physical fitness merit badge, man. I rocked the crap out of that. So, but what I realized going through that, I had sports and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed sports. But for me, what I really remember, like going back, is when I fell in love with the human body, its potential, was that physical fitness merit badge, and just like learning how to do like jumping jacks, jump rope, and just that endorphin rush you get from working out. And that stuck with me till this day, obviously. But when I was in high school, kind of transitioning, when I was in high school, we had to do, my junior and senior year, we had to do a week-long internship at a potential occupation that we wanted to go into college for. And junior year, I did orthodontist, man. Shout out to all you orthodontists out there, because, dude, I hated it. I was so bored, and I was falling asleep at lunchtime, man. So, plus, oral cavities aren't really my thing necessarily. So, I prefer to stay on the external.
I think the terminology that the dentists like to use is caries. Shout out to y'all orthodontists and dentists out there. I got my terminology down.
Terminology done. Caries.
Gingivitis. I know it.
Oh my gosh. So, and then senior year comes around. I'm like, well, I sure as heck ain't shadowing an orthodontist again. I know that much. So my sister was like, hey, why don't you check out this chiropractor? Oh, he's leaving me. Oh, there he is. Okay. You were pretty dark, I guess.
It was getting dark.
It was getting dark.
Sunlight.
True. She was like, why don't you check out this chiropractor? I had no idea what chiropractic was. I don't even think I Googled it. I just kind of went. I just showed up after calling the guy. And I remember, and maybe this is part of it, when falling in love with chiropractic, I didn't even have to do my full hours for my internship. So hopefully Heritage Christian High School never hears that. But I didn't. Diploma. Yeah, that diploma, they're going to take it away. I didn't really have to do all the hours. But what I realized there was, so I hadn't been adjusted till the end of the week that I was there. But I realized that people were just coming in and they just loved being there. Just kind of like what you said, like it was just a different atmosphere. And for me, it felt like a sport. Like you were able to stay active. You were able to, own your own business and see patients and help them. Right. So for me, I was like, all right, I don't know what this thing is, but I freaking love it. And then I got adjusted and I felt like my back was like the most powerful thing in the world. Like I didn't come from an injury basis to chiropractic. And that didn't even click in my head because I had never had like a huge sports injury or anything like that. So for me, chiropractic, like I automatically connected with like power or like that light turning on sensation. Like that's how it was for me. My back just felt super powerful afterwards. Not necessarily the first adjustment because I felt sore the next day, but the second one, just like extremely powerful. So, and then transition into school, man. Like I remember it's still my first day of school. People were like, what technique do you want to do? And I was like, I didn't know there was different techniques, man. Like, like I didn't know that was a thing. So I guess I didn't Google enough before I went to school or went to enough.
Hey man, good thing you didn't YouTube it, in my opinion.
Yes, that's true. I don't know if YouTube chiros were around back then, but
shout out to you, YouTube chiros.
I'm
not trying to hate on y'all, but
no,
so
we love y'all.
You know what we're talking about. The reputation isn't all there, you know.
It isn't. Not every one of you is as upstanding as some of you. So, but so like my chiro didn't really explain necessarily what it was. All I knew was like, hey, I still got that same endorphin rush as I did when I was working out. Like it made me feel good. And for me, I was like, I didn't have to take anything or drink something or eat a piece of food to do that. Like it felt congruent in my soul, I guess is the best way to put it. So, and now I'm in Grand Rapids. You're in Ames right now. So
just north of Des Moines.
So I'm in, and then we're not too far. What is that? 6 hours?
Yeah, probably.
Probably about that. But yeah, those are our stories, man. That's really cool. Obviously we've known each other for a while now. Gone through the muck and the mire. And one thing I think is cool, and for those of you who don't know, Nash and I, dude, since school has ended, now we seriously, what has it been like the past 2-3 weeks, we've left a voice message to each other every single day.
Probably
maybe even before that. Huh?
More than one.
More than one. Yeah, more than one. And we'll, I'm grateful for this friendship too, because we'll snap pictures of like books we're reading. We both are book lovers, especially those green books, and different things. Just, it's been cool to keep that connection. And I think both of us admire that connection with our patients too. And I don't know about you, but that part didn't really come until probably the second half of school for me when I started in KTC, Chiro's Training Culture, like learning connection over correction and learning, okay, what do I notice in my patients? What do I see in them? What do I want to how do I want them to feel before I adjust them? Either before I adjust them, during, or after. Like that was something that didn't really click though until the second half. And that's one of those evolution things that I think we can talk about, is just how big connection came into my life and learning how huge it can be on a patient's impact, right?
Really. Dude, I love that. One thing that Dr. Troyer, before I started school, I kind of had the same thing where early on obviously I saw his ability to connect with people, but to me, I just didn't quite fully understand how intentional it was for him. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you meet people throughout your life who are just naturally, innately more compassionate, just more able to.
We need to get like
somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We need to get like a bell where every time we saying Nate, like, ding it.
Yeah, or like a bike horn, waka waka.
Yeah.
Well Bell. He had Dr. Troy had one of those. It was super cool. So he's got a bunch of stuff that, like, you know, the more I think about it, I'm like, man, I don't know, I'm not doing that right now. So just to get a little bit more into like my experience with him. So he would literally hug every single patient at least one point during their visit. And to me, at the time, I didn't really fully grasp the impact that can have on somebody. And I always say you get your hug total up, because I think the amount of hugs you should be getting per day are more than 10. And like it just, your physiology is totally different when you're getting hugs and you're having physical, that obviously that human connection, but the strongest electromagnetic portion of our body is our heart.
Yeah.
So he'd always be intentional about coming heart to heart with somebody. And really,
dude, that's so true.
Trying to be on that frequency with somebody. And
I don't think I've ever met a great chiropractor that doesn't hug their patient.
For sure.
I don't think I've ever met that. So if you want to be a great chiropractor, hug your patient.
Hug, man.
Hug.
Don't be afraid to hug. Hugs are great.
I like how you mentioned the physiology of that too. That's key.
I mean, we're wired. Like we're innately blueprinted to connect with people.
Oh, 100%.
Like, you know, regardless of what your belief system is with evolution or anything like that, but even you know, like primates and monkeys, like they're very socially dependent, right? Like you need to have some sort of social circle, because that's just a part of like your development as a tribe. Yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits to like having a social circle. So yeah, man, I that was one thing I really loved. And getting back to the well bell, he would have the patient ring the bell on the days where they didn't need adjusted.
Nice.
They're holding. So like that was just like another positive reinforcement that you know, there's more to chiropractic than the adjustment.
Right.
So
yep, that's true. And moving into that second part, the intention of what he was doing too. Like what was his intention with having a well bell? Well, it was to show patients that what you just said, that last part, right? His intention was to, hey, you come in, we get your nervous system right, and at the end of the day, you're well because your nervous system is full expression, uninhibited, not because your back pain is gone.
Yep.
Right? I love that.
Yep.
You gotta get the well bell, man.
Dude, for real. I want to get a big one. Like from like
do you think Leia's gonna let you?
You know, I'll work on her. I'm gonna be something, get like one of those old marine submarine ships, or like the real big ones where you just really got to rock.
Yeah. It's gonna glare in the whole gym. They're gonna think it's the lunk alarm, man. Like in Planet Fitness.
You know, BJ, he had I don't know how much you've read from certain books, but in the bigness, obviously he goes through the history of his journeys around the world, and one of them is revolved around this bell that he had, and he found it in a pawn shop in San Francisco, I think. And at the time, it was like this rusty. It was a big bell, but it's rusty, and like I don't remember exactly why he was attracted to this bell, but he's like something about this bell, and he ended up purchasing it for like $50. And I think, I don't remember what, but something kind of chipped on it, and like it was like super metallic-y, shiny underneath, and ended up getting it like refined and cleaned, and found out it's like 100% like silver, essentially.
Dude.
From somewhere in China. And it ended up being worth thousands.
Of course, with BJ, we know it's going to be from an Asian country. Right?
No, for sure. But he found it in San Francisco. That was the cool part.
That's as close as you can get.
But there's a whole spectrum of research, philosophy behind frequency.
Oh,
and, there was like a really rich portion of this bell that was intentionally had this frequency. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I thought that was super cool. So bells.
Is it at the school?
Probably. It used to be.
I feel like I've seen a bell in Vicky Ann.
I think it used to be a little bit of heaven.
Maybe it's still there.
I'm pretty sure that's where he had it, because it'd ring like he'd ring it for like certain parts of the day for a while when he was really on campus a ton, you know.
Yeah.
He was known for it like throughout town for his bell.
Look, that's pretty wild. A little bit of heaven, dude. That was probably one of my favorite parts of campus. You go through that corridor with all the quotes and stuff, and then just the peace that you find in that spot. And one of my favorite parts, I think this was like, I didn't go back there till like second or third try because I think they were still doing construction or something on it. But they have the cement blocks, right, where they have Didi and BJ's like handprints and shoe size.
Yep.
My hand is the exact same size as BJ's hand. I kid you not, dude. I put it near a glass. So I don't know if that means anything, but
hey, it means something.
It means something. Something.
Damn, that's wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's by like the tree near the giant it's not a Buddha, but something like that, you know.
Yep.
Maybe it is. So it's the spring that there.
I think it is.
But yeah. That I remember thinking that I was like, yo. Means I can be if his hands are like I don't have like the largest hands or anything like that. You know.
So I mean that's exactly.
Something. The largest hands I've seen on a chiropractor, I think, Dr. Brett Jones. He can do some wild adjustments just because his hands I feel like are like freaking foot long, man.
Damn. So he's got like those Kawhi Leonard hands.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like,
oh my god.
Like a can of like soda.
What?
But that's like proportionally what it looks like.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant that was.
No.
Was that Lay's makeup?
Yeah. It's makeup setting spray.
There you go.
Things that lie around my desk.
Oh my gosh. So then we got connection, touched on intention.
Yeah.
Let's dive into like the intention of this podcast a little bit because I want to hit on that so people recognize why we felt the need. It's not just like a trendy thing. It's trendy right now. Obviously, people are starting podcasts left and right, but what our intention is with the podcast too.
Yeah, man. So the good fighters, right? Like, what's that even mean? So one thing that I'm inspired by a bunch of different things, and there's this artist called Fonte, and he had this song called "The Good Fight," and that's kind of something that I've always kind of had in the back of my mind about always fighting the good fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The good fight being fighting for health freedom, financial freedom, and in some ways, whatever your philosophies are on personal growth. But for me, I always had that intention. So. The good fighters, I always thought that was something that would be I know I'm not alone with those feelings either. So like having a group and like a platform to go through those things that can help us on our way to that health freedom, that freedom of health, that freedom of self-expression. I mean, I don't know, like that's just something I know is on the forefront of the health movement for a lot of people, and just like the current sick care system, but like healthcare in general is on that shift, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's interesting. You see a lot of people that recognize there's more to us than medications and surgery, right? There's more than
carbon and structures. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, exactly. We have dynamic beings that need to be addressed, not in a specialist linear care system.
Yep.
So the good fighters, I guess, yeah, I like how you said that too, is just being somewhere where we're bringing acknowledgement to not only our own admiration of the human body, but what we seek to bring into everybody that listens to it, or if you're a chiropractor, what you can transition into your patients too.
Yep.
Because we're pretty fresh out of school, so we got a lot of young chiros that probably listen to this, like our intention is to let you guys be set up for success. And if we have older chiros, maybe reignite a flame, right?
Yeah. And one thing that I, also want to get across too is there's a lot of division in a way with, just society in general, and just really letting people know that they're not alone for
Right.
Whatever they want to express with, for chiropractors, however you want to express how you interpret chiropractic philosophy and principles of health. This is a space where we can share with each other. So
yeah, that's so true, especially because I think, you and I, we have a love for the principles, but we also go about it in different ways too in our own practices. Even though we seek chiropractic first, there's differences in the way both of us practice, even the way you and Leilani practice, right? And
100%, man.
Yeah. So
it's really, art.
Right. Yeah. Are we going to break out? All right, guys. I'm going to let you know right now. Nash and I gave ourselves nicknames. Okay?
Oh, we did. True. I didn't.
We gave ourselves nicknames. We went against the grain as per usual. We gave ourselves nicknames. I am self-proclaimed art thief because I love stealing everybody's art. Man, I will soak up anybody's art and I will take it and utilize it. But Nash comes in. Nash, you're the art dealer, man.
The art
dealer.
Double entendres, man. That's once upon a time I had a rap career, and double entendres were my thing. So, art dealer. So not only am I delivering the specific and intentional chiropractic art the way it was originally developed and manifested by D.D. Palmer himself, which is a huge part of my influence. So I'm dealing that art, but I'm a connoisseur, man.
Heck yeah, man.
I'm picking. I'm going around. I'm finding nice deals.
Whatever the thief brings, you got a deal, man.
Of course, bro. So our thievery and our dealership, a blessing to all the good fighters out there.
Yes, sir. Always is. And that brings us to our last point as far as connection, intention, purpose, our purpose, I think Dr. Brett Jones put up a post the other day, and guys, I'm going to mention Dr. Brett Jones a lot. It's just, KTC. These are things that Nash and I have been built upon, and Arno for you and everything like that. You guys will hear a lot of our background, but he posted up a post the other day. It was like, okay, what's your purpose? And in it, I talk about how and I guess this we can segue this into personal wise too, is I'm here to facilitate the understanding that the body doesn't make mistakes and to honor adaptation. And those are things like I myself in chiropractic, like I freaking love adaptation, guys. I think adaptation is the coolest thing and God's greatest gifts next to Jesus, in my opinion. I don't know if that's blasphemous to say, but in my opinion, I want you guys to recognize the purpose of this podcast is to share with you guys the things that we've learned, picked up, and just what we go back and forth with. Literally, we leave voice messages like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Like, how does this fit into the paradigm of chiropractic? How does this fit in the paradigm of healthcare? Like, how do we be better? So the purpose is to enhance you as a chiropractor, enhance those listening too. And you don't have to be a chiropractor. You can be in anything, but the principles remain the same. Even if you have a completely different profession, not in healthcare, what is your principle? Like you mentioned, health freedom. Everybody deserves that.
Totally, bro. The purpose too is, we're you and I, Gates. We've always been on the same frequency. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and definitely.
Putting out something into the universe and into the community of people who are interested in health, that people might be able to tune into our frequency or they're close to it, and it's something they can get value from into their own frequency.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about, like even if one person gets a little bit of substance from our frequencies, dude, that we're putting off, like that to me is like more than enough of a reason for us to do this group and this podcast, the Good Fighters. So
yeah, that's so true. I like how you put that, because I tell Chantel that all the time. Like, I feel like we just, like you put it perfectly, that same frequency with what, I don't know, it doesn't really seem to matter what it is. The frequency's there, right? That's perfect.
Totally. And like, your vibrations, they're very personal to you, but if you find something in somebody that are similar to vibration that really feel like that's a comforting feeling, or that's like something that really resonates with you, do follow that. You got to be able to, think less and kind of intuitively react more, I feel like is a big part of my life. Kind of going a little bit further into some things that I do with my purpose. So every day I always try to have affirmations set aside. So I got a big list of them. And something I've always believed in my athletic career was speaking things into existence. And, that's not like a revolutionary thing for me to say, but it's something that I truly believe in. It's something that I've practiced myself for a long time. And that's just the power of, what's the book called? The Secret, right? Manifesting your own destiny, right? So really just speaking it into existence, and really you're going to have positive and negatives. You're going to have things that life's going to throw at you where you need to adapt, but really just truly and wholeheartedly focus on like the positive and the good, and the negative will come, but letting that, just being able to let go. That's something that I really try to make, set out intentions for. And I'll just share a couple of my affirmations if that sounds like something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So one of them is I am crucial to the transformation and evolution of the planet. I release human potential dormant in all life. And that's something that I say to myself every day, and on my good days, bad days, and everything in between. It's something that's always going to ground me. It's some sort of anchor that like I know why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
It really, it's almost kind of like a lighthouse. It's something that I can, like, kind of like a North Star. So I always come back to that. However life might try to shift me from side to side, knock me off balance, I always have my North Star. So one other one that I 100% have loved. So A Message to Garcia by Hubbard, a really good book. Goes through so many awesome things, not just for healthcare workers, but literally just whatever you might be doing. It's a great book for you to really figure out more of like a way to get out of your job and your life. And one thing from that book is saying, that I repeat to myself usually twice a day, I'm a part of all my eyes behold. And that's something that really helps place me in my community as an intentional and integral part of my community to help them manifest better health.
You say that one again. I'm a part of
all my eyes behold. So
Sweet.
It really just, like, to me, helps me feel more part of the whole, especially of the people around me, and really feeling more connected with, where I'm at. No matter where I'm at, I'm connected, because at the end of the day, we're all on the same mission on life and walking our paths. So it's something that I like to repeat to myself every day.
Yeah. You know what I love? Because I didn't start doing affirmations until, again, school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been something where it's changed the wavelength of my brain so much that I always look back and I was like, dang, if I had this as an athlete, like,
you hit the nail on the head with that, man.
Huh?
You hit the nail on the head with that, for sure.
Yeah. Just the change that it makes in your everyday life is astounding. Because I know when there's been times when I've felt like not that I lost myself, but felt not as sure in myself, or clarity in my certainty wasn't necessarily there. The moment, like, literally, if I, like, let's say today I didn't feel as clear or certain in my purpose, my intention, or my connection, like, I wake up the next morning, do some breath work, set some intentions or affirmations, and it's like a whole new ballgame. Like, it changes drastically. So that's been something that I think I'm so super grateful for, first and foremost, like, how much it changes you, right? So the fact that you do that every day, and it's cool. I like how you have like 2 ones that you do every day. I don't necessarily have a set one. I should probably lock that down. But I like that. Well, affirmation.
It's definitely something that, like you said, it's something that has changed your mental state and how you, your self-talk, right? That was something that, as an athlete, self-talk's huge. No matter if you're playing football, baseball, basketball, soccer, like, how you communicate with yourself is equally as important as you communicate with the outside world. Probably more in some circumstances. And that just really comes down to, certainty of yourself, and confidence of your ability to do your best and try to succeed to the best of your abilities. And you're not going to make every single shot, but to have that certainty that you're taking the time to talk to yourself in a positive light, that you're going to do your best, like that was super important for me, and a big part of who, my success as an athlete. So
I wish I would have had that as an athlete. I think that was the one thing that I truly was missing.
For
because
sure.
I had glimpses of it, but it wasn't solidified. So it didn't, I had decent power, decent speed, but the last thing I needed was consistent mentality.
Totally. And I wasn't perfect with it by any means. I mean,
right.
But I think that's hard for a lot of teenagers, early 20s, where you're just a big identity thing, where a lot of kids, like, at least speaking from personal experience, I didn't necessarily know who or exactly what I wanted to be, but like I knew I wanted to treat people in a right way, but there's still a certain level of that where it's just like, I don't know, like I'm just kind of
going with the flow.
Going with the flow, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's very common, and it changes too when you go. I think that's been a huge player, like in my spiritual walk, just to touch on that for a second too. What type of affirmations I tell myself and to not get into this rut. For those of who are listening, like God is second to none in my life, or I try to be at least. So for me, it's been a huge impact in my spirituality and recognizing, okay, like I'm not perfect every time, but if I have the mentality to get back up every time, a righteous man falls 7 times, which is wild to think about. Like you fall 7 times, but you get up 8. So keeping consistent with that, and these affirmations have just been a game changer, not because I'm necessarily doing, but in my opinion, source is God. So like for me, it comes directly from that.
Dude, I love
so
that.
I know they made a huge impact in my life personally. Yeah, it should be. It's my wife. Yeah, dude. What's your favorite quote?
So,
I'll get into it.
Favorite quotes, man. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, we're both.
Hold on.
Go for it.
I lied. I want to go before you because your quote is way too fire to put an after mine.
All right,
before mine. Yours has to go last. Guys, I'm telling you, Nash is cool right now. He's about to drop the mic with this one. I mean, we're not going to end the show on it or anything, but dang. All right. Now I feel like it's anticlimactic for mine even more so right now. But
no. Yours is good, bro. Don't downplay yours.
So one of the biggest things was actually the first I know it's not a green book, but I guess first philosophically based, chiropractic based book that I actually read all the way through was One Cause, One Cure by Fred Barge. I don't know how you would you classify that as like a philosophy book? Like what would you classify
100%, dude, for sure.
Okay. Was One Cause, One Cure. And in it, just reading it, he talks about, it says, there's but one cause in disease, the body's inability to comprehend itself and or its environment. And there's but one cure in disease, the body's ability to heal itself. And there's only one thing that any doctor can do for a patient, and that's to remove an obstruction to healing, thus facilitating it. So for me, that's been a huge, but not, I mean, I don't know, man. That's just been something where ever since I read that, I was like, this is the doctor I need to be. I don't care who people say I need to be or think I need to be, or, especially in chiropractic realm, like you're not a real doctor. Like at the end of the day, and we talked about this the other day, I don't really care about that. What I want to be known as is, okay, there's but one cause, and it's true. There's one cause every time you break it down. And I tell this to all my patients, and there's one cure. So how do we facilitate that? Well, we got to remove what's causing your body to not comprehend itself or its environment. So for me, that's been like, ever since I read that, it was game on, there was no stopping me from helping patients to remove that, be a facilitator of removal, not of adding something,
And that's empowering, man. I mean, that's a lot of information that people don't really get on like the day-to-day or in the mainstream basis.
Yeah.
That sort of empowerment that there is a reason why their body, a lot of people think their body's betraying them. Like, why is my body?
Yeah, they don't trust it. They don't trust it.
Yeah. And there's a reason, and there is a cause.
Right.
the cure, right? You
Yep.
know, that cure comes from within though. So that's something that people are conditioned not to believe early on. And that's something where, you know, we kind of have to untrain people in that mindset. We're like, no, that cure is there and you can get a solution, but you gotta be patient with yourself in a way.
That's the key right there. Not especially in today's day and age, nobody's patient. Nobody is willing to seek and find what it is that they're needing to remove. And I've said it, you know, I say this on my story for that exact reason all the time. My Instagram stories is that your body is the best doctor I know. I mean, I said it, you know, probably twice within the last 2 weeks, because for me, patients need to know that. I can know all the textbooks in the world, but I can't produce a hormone within your body that the nervous system knows it needs.
Totally.
You know, it's astounding.
And yeah, I mean, I always like to keep everything in perspective, right? So you, me, our neighbors, our parents, everybody, we all originated from the same blueprint of two cells. And educationally and actively speaking with our mind, there's no way any of us have the power to do that same process as intricate and as detailed as it needs to be. The timing of everything, the rhythm, I don't know. The power of the human body is amazing, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you have, it's just incomprehensible. It really is. So, I don't know. Let's hear this fire one.
All right, bro. So this is from BJ Palmer, and this is from either The Glory of Going On, or it also could be from The Fight to Climb too. I can't remember which one it's actually from, but it goes like this. So it's actually from the book Spine Checkers Manifesto by Dr. Jeremy Brook. Great book. So this is a quote from there from BJ Palmer. We chiropractors work with the subtle substance of the soul. We release the imprisoned impulse, the tiny rivulet force that emanates from the mind and flows over the nerves to cells and stirs them into life. That was a mic drop. little mic drop, but
wait, hold up, rewind, read it again, because that is I don't know, man. Every time I hear it, it gives me goosebumps. It really does.
Totally, bro. I'll read it one more time for the people in the back. So
yes, shout it out.
We chiropractors work with the subtle substance of the soul. We release the imprisoned impulse, the tiny rivulet force that emanates from the mind and flows over the nerves to cells and stirs them into life. So many nuggets that are there's so much intention in like the areas of why he worded it and why BJ spoke the way that he spoke.
Yeah.
Anything from, you know, the emanation from the mind and the flowing over the nerves. I mean, like, it creates
such a picture. Yeah,
seriously.
Exactly. It creates such a picture. And if you sit back, close your eyes, and you think about what that looks like that's wild. And that's what our body does every day without us even having to think about it.
Totally, man. We're all energetic beings living this human experience, right? So working with that subtle substance of the soul, like that's the power of the human body. That's that innate intelligence that you're born with that really takes you from those two cells and proliferates you in that gestation cycle in your mom's womb to who you are here today, still growing, still adapting, still surviving. I mean,
it's wild.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, it really doesn't. It doesn't get more powerful than that. It really doesn't. You can go lift as many weights as you want to, but dang.
Yeah, it's some good stuff, man. It really makes it hard to follow. One thing I did want to kind of cover was some intentions that we're going to set for 2021. I think that's a kind of like a good place to kind of transition and kind of close the first intro episode about, us introducing ourselves and kind of the intention we have for the podcast and where we're moving in the future. So we can never plan for the future, right? But we can always create contingency plans. So 2020 taught us that things might not always go your way, but you just got to keep on. You knock down 7 times, you got to get up 8, bro. I love that. So
yes, sir.
For me, one of my biggest themes of 2021 is surrender. So really taking the time that, and wherever I'm at, whoever I'm with, whatever I'm doing, to truly surrender to that present moment. And I know we're talking about future intentions for the year, but I think having that mindset into everything that I do, whether I'm planning stuff or not, like that's just going to truly help me get the best out of every single day, every single minute, every single hour. And the longer we go through life, dude, the more I really appreciate and realize that time's the only thing we don't get more of. And you truly got to appreciate and respect your time. So surrendering is one way that I can truly help myself enjoy my time, because we're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time, right? So
heck yeah.
One thing I have an intent on doing this year is doing a mission trip, bro. That's like goal number 1 for me, is a mission trip. And there's so many beautiful reasons why. And, I just want to be able to, I'm a philanthropist in my heart, bro. I want to be able to help people who need help. And I think what better place to do that than a mission trip where people truly need help. And I have the skills and will to do it out of the surplus of my own being. So that's something that is very high on my to-do list. Both you and I both were just starting practice, and there's so many other things that we need to work on, but that is something that's really going to help me keep my why and really help reinforce my affirmations about why I truly do what I do. And, anybody that's in this stuff for the money or in it for the fame and glory, like, they're in it for the wrong reasons. At least they haven't discovered the real reason why yet. And that's one of the ones that's just really going to help me spread the love, I truly want to love on everybody. I want to help them love themselves. I want to help them adapt. I want to help them ease into what they have going on in their life. So mission trip, definitely high on the list. Another thing this year is hopefully get around, because like an athlete, I truly value training. So I was experienced in going, had the privilege and honor of being a part of the MLS training seminars. And this year, that's something that I still want to maintain. I'm always humble enough to bring myself in a position where I know I need to refine my training methods and just training my soul. That's one of the best places I've found for me that truly helped me train my soul and truly helped me train what I have to offer to people, because it's more than just a physical interaction with somebody. There's so much more with the mental and spiritual aspect of what we do, that if you're not balanced with those, you're bringing unbalance to not just your practice, but what people are really needing in life. So MLS is something that I truly have a lot of fond and lovable memories, and they've really helped me kind of find who I am and define my purpose and why. So I have an intention to get back and connect and train with the MLS crew. And last but not least on my intentions for this year, I've been trying to read a lot, trying to put the phone down a lot more, and that's some days that's easier said than done, man. I'm not perfect by any means. So, but that's something that, surrendering is going to help me do, is just always come back around to that why and that intention for me to, cultivate my mind a lot better. And I can do that in a really good way with books. I've already found so many gems, and it's barely almost February. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for us to talk about that too. Guys, we both love reading, so we're going to be spitting some fire from a lot of books coming up at you. One thing I want to say, though, too, is really cool with all those intentions for the year, dude, that I see a common theme is that you're not selfish with them. You know what I mean? Every single one of those is an external thing that you're not focused on self. You're focused on, surrendering because, it's not about me. You're going to mission trips because it's not about me. you are going to MLS seminars because it's not about you, it's because it's about your patients and training for them. You know, surrendering your phone because it's not about you. You're trying to connect differently. And I remember you sent me that voice message the other day about how y'all went to, was it wine tasting?
Yep.
And your phone like turned off, like, and you were just like, whatever, like, which can't be said. Like, I don't even remember the last time that happened. And I got, you know, I have some stuff that I need to do like that, get through that myself, because I'm always afraid I'm going to miss something. You know, I got that FOMO. I know Lay's the same way with that. So
render with that FOMO.
I know, right? That's the thing. And so I like those intentions a lot. I think they're easily transferable to all of us. And I can share a little bit too about, you know, we can dive deeper into my mission trip to Honduras. I'm always itching to get back. It's so cool, just, man, how thankful people are. Guys, you don't recognize how thankful people are and how big chiropractic is until you go to somewhere where chiropractic's not, right? Like, when I went to Honduras, those people don't have chiropractic. That's something that rich people did.
Totally.
Not a common occurrence here. I mean, it's still gaining ground here, but it's pretty common. You hear about it on a lot. So
American made, bro.
Huh?
Chiropractic, it's American made.
Yep. Yeah.
American product.
Chantel always likes to be griping at me though, because Didi was Canadian
technically. He was, though. He was.
He always brings it back. Which, by the way, I got to share a story with you from Fight to Con about Didi going back, or BJ going to like a ceremony that the Canadian school held.
Totally.
It's pretty funny. It's short, but it's funny. But yeah, I think, you know, some of my intentions for the year, I think a lot are focusing on some priorities, and not in the sense of like, you know, I guess it's kind of convicting in a way because it's sounds selfish, some of the priorities in a sense. But one of my priorities is giving back to people. And one of the things that Chantal and I were praying for when we went through this journey is like, okay, I really want our practice to be successful so we can give back to people, because we know what it's like to be and have a kid on the way and all this kind of stuff. So it's like one of those things where that's probably the biggest priority to me right now, is just being able to get to a point where, or not get to a point, but always seeking to be like, okay, how can I give back to somebody? How can I, it might not be in money, but it could be in time. It could be in my voice. It could be different things. And that goes along with this good fighters, you know, like I want to be a good fighter so I can give back to people, to give back to those that I wish I would have listened to in first trimester of chiropractic school, you know? And then along with that is getting that 1% better each day. I think has been, I slacked a lot off on that in 2020. You know, I was pretty, you know, I was just inconsistent with it. And it's one of those affirmations I have to consistently remember. It's like, hey, if you want to be 1% better every day, then you better wake up and be somebody. You better get it, right?
Wake up, man.
Wake up.
A lot of people got to wake up, but it's okay. We've all been asleep before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. So I think, we were just talking about this too, guys, is breaking down a foundation of whatever problem there is. And there's a lot of problems in the world, but if we can be one part of the solution to break down some of these problems and then build up a proper foundation based on what we've learned and connected with, become intentional with, driven purpose within our time in school. And now as practice owners, like we want to give that to you guys, you know.
Hell yeah.
This has been in the works for what, a couple of months now. So
you know, it's been in the works longer than that. You know, I like to think that.
That's true. That's true.
It's been in work for a while. So chronologically, you know, we've been really getting the ball rolling the last couple of months, but it's been in the works long before that. So
yeah, that's definitely for sure. Yeah, man, I'm excited for it. I hope you good fighters are excited for it. Guys, you're going to love some of the swag coming out of here. We're going to get some swag going eventually. Just a heads up.
It's going to be tight. You know, to put it mildly. So we got some really good ideas. I'm definitely excited about. I think that a lot of people who are, you know, chiropractic students will definitely appreciate it. But at the very least, you know, we got two creative two creative minds working together. So I think
yeah,
we're gonna have some good stuff coming down the pipe.
We'll make it work out pretty well for y'all. Speaking of that, what's the best way for people to find you on social and whatnot?
Socials. So you can couple different ways on Instagram. So you can also follow my personal page, DC Nash T. Also, my practice and business account is Complete Connection Chiropractic in Ames, Iowa. You can follow us, either one. And then Facebook, Nash Stop Co. Twitter, you can find me as well. So all around the same handles. So those are both Nash Stop Co. for Twitter and Facebook. So any other way you guys want to reach out to me, I'd love to hear from you. I'm on Clubhouse. I'm on, what else is there? LinkedIn. Shoot. Yeah.
Dang, I got to update my LinkedIn.
I'm on, yeah, right? I mean, I got like so many different things where people.
My Clubhouse is more up to date than my LinkedIn.
Same here, for real. So,
What's the story behind DC Nasty? Because it sounds like DC Nasty, but did you mean to do that?
So a lot of people always ask me, so was your middle name start with a T? No, it doesn't. So that was kind of like a play on words. So because it was my handle is always Nash T.
Yeah. I said to be like nasty, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, that didn't click with me until like 2 weeks ago.
Good. That's another little subtle red pill for you, bro.
I like it. Oh, by the way, DC Nasty just went public. He was private, so my boy, he's dropping knowledge on there for you guys. Thank you, Leilani.
Shout out to Dr. Leilani.
Shout out to Dr. Le. We'll get her on here eventually too. Dude, I'm excited to bring her on.
Me too.
We'll get her on here eventually. She is with Nash at Complete Connection, so that'll be sick. You guys can find me at gatesmayor_DC on Instagram, dropping some fire on there usually. I also have a business profile at the @theOneusWay_GR for Grand Rapids. And also our Facebook is the One-Us-Way Grand Rapids as well. So those are my three main ones. I haven't used my Twitter in a long time. I got to start getting at it. I started trying to dabble in the tweets, but nobody was like biting, so I was like, I'll just drift.
I'm not gonna lie, like my Twitter following is like from early undergrad, so like a lot of my tweets are falling on pretty much quiet ears. But hey, man, it's a good outlet for me to just get a couple of character thoughts out there. Yep,
that's true. Because I remember starting that up when I was like the last trimester of school or so. It's just like I get like one like, maybe a retweet if I was lucky. But yeah, so I'll have to update my Twitter and LinkedIn as well. Clubhouse too, all that good stuff. I don't know what my handles are for that though off the top of my head. So probably similar to, as far as I know, there's not another Gates Mayor. So like you can pretty much find that anywhere. Not yet. But yeah, those are some places to find us at. Guys, this is episode 1.
Foundational. This is like oh boy. I don't know. We gotta just it's nice, First
resonate. One. That's true. We do. We have to take I don't know, is a moment of silence? Let's take a moment to surrender ourselves and soak this in.
Shavasana? Is that the end of yoga practice?
Shavasana? Yeah, Shavasana? You do like that's my favorite part where you just
everybody's favorite part.
Dude, yeah, you would think, and then Chantel, whenever she does Shavasana, she hates it. I'm like, dude, you just gotta relax, like enjoy the Shavasana. And she doesn't want to do it. She's like, but she's go sometimes. Her brain's always mom in it. So
I get it.
I don't know, man. I love it. That's my favorite part because you chill after the workout. Speaking of which, if you guys aren't doing yoga as chiropractic students, you got to get on that. Move, breathe, meditate, do that good stuff. We're gonna be talking about the WEC method in the future.
Hell yeah.
Dr. Nash is gonna drop some knowledge on y'all about
WEC method. Training method is I don't know. I'm always trying to challenge myself into new things, and this is one that I've been doing recently that conceptually it's very interesting to me, especially coming from like a more traditional background with strength training. And even I did Olympic lifting, so I've done CrossFit, I've done kind of my own thing for a while. So this will be cool. This will be a nice little layer people can supplement into their own practice. So
yes sir. All right, give us one last Choose of the three. One last connection, intention, and purpose to drop some knowledge on these people.
So one thing that I loved about Dr. Troyer is every Monday we'd have it'd be an intention meeting where we'd come and set our intentions for the week as an office staff, as a team. And in that he would, start off by reading like something like an inspirational quote, something that really just would be something you could kind of resonate with the rest of the week. And how he'd always end everything is kind of like in a style where like, you break a huddle. We'd have the mantra of love, serve, give. So
love, serve, give.
Love, serve, give. So anybody that's a chiropractor looking to be a chiropractor, if you're in a position where you can go out and love people, you can help serve people, and you can give some of your time and energy to help somebody have a better day. That's a pretty powerful gift that you have, and a lot of people wish to be in a position that you could be in. So it's something I always like to end the day with. So
I like that. Love, serve, give. That's what's up. That is connection, intention, purpose, guys. Today, man, Good Fighters episode 1. And we got it in.
Historical
in the books.
The Harvey Lillard of Good Fighters episodes.
Huh?
The Harvey Lillard of Good Fighters episodes.
Yes, sir. That's right. Y'all deaf no more. That's what's up, man. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And we are looking forward to the rest of this, guys. It's going to be sick. So this is Good Fighters number 1. We'll see you later. Choose your destiny.